Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 12. Bakasura Vadha. When Kunti Devi came to learn why the family of the Brahman who had given them shelter was weeping, the Brahman began to lament loudly in grief. In this world, there is no way for a man to live happily with wife and children, is there? Long ago, I told my wife that we should leave this miserable town. She said that she was born here, grew up here, and could not go away from her people. They died long ago. There is not even one relative left in this town, yet we still do not leave this place. Had you listened to my words then, this calamity would not have fallen upon us now. What can we do now? Whom shall I send to that demon? Shall I surrender you, who have long been my faithful companion and bore my children, to the demon? Or shall I send our son, who was born as the scion of our lineage and is growing up? Shall I send our daughter, who is yet to be given away in marriage? Therefore, I myself will go as food for the demon. There is no other way. The Brahman's wife did not agree to this. She said that if her husband died, there would be no protection for her and the children, they would become helpless before the world, and she did not possess the strength or capability to guide the children's future. Therefore, she herself would become food for the demon. She also expressed one hope. If she went as food, the demon might release her out of fear of committing the sin of killing a woman. Hearing these words, the Brahman embraced his wife. Both began to weep bitterly. Seeing them, the daughter said, "Why do you both cry in vain? Send me as food to the demon. Someday, I must leave you anyway, must I not? Therefore, there is no loss to you if you send me. Moreover, your danger will be averted." Then a boy of 5 years took a small stick, ran about excitedly here and there, and said in his childish speech, "I will kill that demon. Do not cry." Even in such great sorrow, the elders laughed at his words. Kunti, who was listening to all this, came closer and said to the Brahman, "Sir, what is the calamity that has come upon you now? If you explain it to me in detail, I shall render whatever help I can." The Brahman replied to Kunti, "Mother, you speak thus out of your goodness, but the calamity that has come upon us cannot be resolved by human beings. Near this city lives a man-eater named Bakasura. He revels in eating human flesh every day. Since he acts as the protector of this town, the townspeople must send him 20 heavy loads of cooked rice, 2 buffaloes, and 1 human being every day by the turn of 1 household. If anyone fails to do so on any day, that demon descends upon the town and devours the people mercilessly. The king of this country lives in a place called Vetreke Gruhamu. He makes no effort to protect the people from the menace of this demon. He is incompetent. We who live under the rule of such an incompetent king face this danger every day. Today the turn has come to our house. If we had royal patronage and wealth, we could have purchased some man and sent him as food to the demon. Therefore, this calamity cannot be escaped by our family. None of us can live without the others. All of us shall go together and become food for that demon." After hearing the entire story, Kunti said, "Sir, remain free from worry. Today I shall send my son as food to that demon. The demon cannot kill him. He will slay that demon himself. He is extremely powerful. Besides, he possesses mantra powers. I am sending him only for that reason, not because I truly wish my son to be eaten by the demon. Would any mother, even if she had 100 sons, willingly offer her own son to death itself? Therefore, agree to this arrangement. But do not let anyone in the town know of this matter. If his guru comes to know of it and says it must not be done, even the opportunity for my son to kill the demon will be lost." The Brahman was convinced by Kunti's words. He felt joy that the calamity had been averted, and gratitude toward Kunti for the great favor she had done him. Kunti told Bhima the entire matter. Bhima agreed to the arrangement made by his mother. Meanwhile, the other 4 Pandavas returned home after receiving alms. Noticing Bhima's great joy, Dharmaraja secretly asked Kunti the reason for it. Kunti told him everything and said, "After so long, we have found an opportunity to repay the Brahman family that gave us shelter." Hearing this, Dharmaraja became deeply distressed. He thought his mother had acted in haste. He knew that all the hopes and future of the Pandavas depended upon the mighty strength of Bhima. If they wished to defeat the Kauravas and regain their kingdom, how could it be possible without Bhima? When Duryodhan conspired to burn them alive in the Lakh Palace, was it not Bhima alone who saved them all from that danger? Could anyone else have accomplished it? As Dharmaraja spoke in this manner, Kunti Devi opposed him. Protecting those in distress is the highest duty of a Kshatriya. If they failed to repay this Brahman family, it would be a great sin. There was nothing for Bhima to fear. He could kill any demon whatsoever. She said that her decision was beneficial both in this world and the next. In the end, Dharmaraja had no choice but to agree with his mother's opinion. As soon as dawn broke after that night passed, Bhima said to the Brahman householder, "Sir, I have not slept all night. I am burning with hunger. If you feed me good food until my stomach is full, I shall fight the demon with great enthusiasm." The Brahman served him various foods and drinks, along with ghee and curds, as much as he could eat. Afterward, Bhima yoked 2 buffaloes to a cart, filled it with heaps of cooked rice, went south of the city, and halted the cart on the bank of the river Yamuna, far from where Bakasura lived. Shouting for Bakasura to come to him, he sat there eating the food from the cart, thinking there was no point remaining idle until he arrived. Seeing an ordinary human calling him, Bakasura became furious and came running. Seeing Bhima calmly swallowing large morsels of the rice sent by the people of Ekachakrapuram for him, he exclaimed, "Who is this fellow, eating calmly even on the verge of death?" Bhima looked at Bakasura, laughed once, and continued eating as before. Bakasura let out a terrible roar and rushed toward Bhima with both hands raised as though to kill him. Even then Bhima did not waver and continued eating the rice in the cart. Seeing that the mere human paid no attention even to his roar, Bakasura struck Bhima's back with both hands. Bhima paid no attention even to that. After finishing his meal, he went to the river and washed his hands and feet. Enraged beyond measure, Bakasura uprooted a tree and hurled it at Bhima. Bhima drank his fill of water and came prepared for battle with Bakasura. The tree thrown by Bakasura was already in Bhima's hand. When Bakasura uprooted and threw another tree, Bhima blocked it with the tree he held. In this way, the two fought with trees until all the surrounding trees were exhausted. Then Bakasura seized Bhima with his hands. The two wrestled fiercely, throwing one another down and dragging each other violently. Finally, Bhima threw Bakasura to the ground, sat upon him, pinned him down, and striking him with his knees and fists, broke his neck, waist, and back. Bakasura vomited blood terribly and died. Hearing his death cry, his relatives came there. Looking at them, Bhima warned, "If any of you hereafter kill human beings for food, you too shall meet the same fate as this Bakasura. Beware." Trembling with fear, they all departed to their respective places. Bhima dragged Bakasura's corpse to the city gate, placed it there, bathed in the river, returned home, and informed Dharmaraja of everything that had happened. The townspeople soon saw Bakasura's corpse. News spread throughout the town that the demon had died. No one knew who had slain him, but the people praised that holy soul greatly and offered prayers to their chosen deities. When it became known that the turn on the day Bakasura died had belonged to the Brahman's house, everyone went there and asked the Brahman who had killed Bakasura. Since he could not reveal those who had taken shelter in his house, the Brahman told the citizens, "Yesterday the turn came to our house. While I was drowning in sorrow, a great yogi came there. After hearing everything, he said that he himself would take the food to the demon and that the demon could do nothing to him. Since the demon is dead, that great soul must have gained that merit." The townspeople joyfully conducted a grand celebration in honor of the Brahman. Kunti and the Pandavas also watched the festivities. They continued to live secretly in that Brahman's house itself. They lived entirely on alms. While matters stood thus, a wandering Brahman came as a guest to the Brahman's house where the Pandavas were staying. Accepting the hospitality offered by the householder, he casually narrated many interesting accounts about the lands he had travelled through and the kings who ruled there. At one point, he briefly spoke about Drupad, the king of Panchala, the births of Shikhandi, Dhrishtadyumna and Draupadi, and the arrangements made for Draupadi's Swayamvara. Then Kunti Devi and the Pandavas desired to hear those matters in greater detail. Therefore, the Brahman began to narrate thus. Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 12 is complete. For now, Swasti.